thanks for stopping back to my channel. It is Mindy, and today we are going to be building a micro home using the objects from the new stuff pack, Tiny Living. I'm so excited to share this one with you guys. I've kind of found a way to work around the whole micro home idea, and that is by using roofs, because basically the game does not count roofs as a room. So I was able to make a 32 tile home without having to compromise on the space. So I'm sure I'm not the first person. I know I'm not the first person to think this up, but I was playing around with the roofs the other day and I got the idea and I was like, I might do this. And the Sims are not affected by the weather at all, which is really good. Yeah, I didn't have any problems. In the wintertime, they complained of being cold, but honestly, my Sims do that in a regular household. So I did put a thermostat in here, so you can change the temperature, see if maybe that works. But other than that, they don't like freeze to death or anything when they're in this house, which is pretty cool. So basically, we just maximized our living space and we're reaping all the benefits of having a micro home, which I think is pretty awesome. So like I said, I'm not the first person to think about that. I think I've seen other Simmers use like the use of roofs to maximize their space for living. But yeah, anyways, I think it turned out pretty good. This is the main living area here within this A-shaped frame, this A-framed kind of roof area. There is a living room, a kitchenette, there is a sitting, like a reading nook, and then I'm able to get a computer in here as well. So basically your Sim has everything that they need, and I love how it all came together. So let's talk about these couches for a minute. I love the couches. I love the textures. When I put this couch in, the one closest to the roof did not work. So I had to pull them out a little bit. The one closest to the roof still does not work, but I pulled the chair out and the chair works and the couch works. I also was only able to have my Sim watch TV at first, so I had to move the TV out as well, so they were able to pull books from the shelf and everything. So it will look a little bit different if you download this from the gallery, because I had to move a few things around just to make everything work. And it's the same with this chair over here. I had to move the chair out in order to get my Sim to sit in it. And over here I just stick a ton of plants. This is like the little reading area. I imagine that the Sim that lives here is all about being environmentally friendly and just leaving as little of a carbon footprint as possible. And so they have tons of succulents and plants just growing around. They grow their own like spices and herbs and that kind of thing. And again, I had to pull this chair out and that end table out so my Sim could sit there and read, which is exactly what I wanted this little area to be. I just wanted it to be a little cozy nook area where they could sit and read and look out on the garden. And yeah, it turns out pretty well. So like I said, if you do download this, it is going to look a little bit different than what it does here. But yeah, so pretty much this is the majority of the main living area. I clutter up the kitchen a little bit, and then I work on the rest of the house, which is the bedroom and a bathroom. So this has one bathroom, and it's really not a separate bedroom. It's like an open concept area, but I put a Murphy bed in there, and there is a wall that separates it from the entranceway. So you guys will see that here in a minute. But yeah, here I am working on this part now. And yeah, so let's talk about these Murphy beds. I was so upset because here's the deal. I talked about this in my survey. My Sim could not put down the Murphy bed. I even upped her handiness to 10, and she did eventually put it down when I upped her handiness to 10. I just used the MCC cheats and upped her handiness to 10, and she was able to put the bed down. But until then, I tried and I tried and I tried, and the bed kept getting stuck, and I was getting so frustrated. And I talked about this in my survey that sometimes the Sim team goes overboard. They don't know when to stop. Like, I don't know if it's like completely random, but my Sim should be able to put down the bed the majority of the time, and only every once in a while should they die from it. Like, I'm less likely to use this object if I know that it's going to kill my Sims, 6 times out of 10. Does that make sense? I feel like sometimes the Sim team goes overboard with the stuff that they do. For instance, vampires for the longest time, and it's gotten better, but for the longest time, there were constantly vampires at my Sim's house, sucking their blood, draining them of all energy, and it was just, I had to use mods to stop it. And it's frustrating because, I don't know, it just makes you not want to use those packs or that stuff. Excuse me. Like I said, I get the gameplay and I think it's great. I think it's a cute idea, but just, you know, within reason, you know, like my Sim shouldn't struggle every time they pull out the Murphy bed. But that's my view on it. That's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you think that the Sim team sometimes goes a little bit overboard when they have stuff like this? Or I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you like the Murphy beds? Are you going to use it? Do you worry that if you do use it, your Sim's going to die? I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it. But anyways, you saw the bedroom kind of come together. I decided to put a TV in there as well. So it's kind of like a little separate living area, which I think is really nice. If they don't want to sit in the main living area, they kind of have their own private little spot to hang out. Or if they have like somebody over, like a friend, they can sit and watch TV in the little cozy area. I don't know. I just thought it was a really cute idea. So yeah, here I am just playtesting everything. I just wanted to make sure it all worked, and I just kind of messed around with a few things. But moving on, I work on the outside. I really struggled with the outside. I don't know. I went back and forth, and you guys will see me struggle a little bit. I left the majority of it in here. I didn't cut a lot out because I wanted you guys to kind of see my thought process with everything. Because it was a struggle. I knew that I wanted a garden. I just didn't know where I wanted a garden. I knew that I wanted landscaping. I just didn't know where. So I mess around a lot with the fences and the gates from the debug menu, and it just wasn't working having the garden in front of that window, because what I wanted is when they were in the reading nook to look out and see just like greenery. I didn't want them to look out and see like growing, like, I don't know how to explain it, just like a garden. Does that make sense? I wanted them to see like lush greenery. So I don't know. So I end up putting a bunch of different plants over here, and then I put the garden on the other side, which I think turns out really, really well. I love using the plants from the debug menu, and I played around with them so much, you guys. It's ridiculous. But then I started to put a patio over here, and I was like, I don't want them to look out and see patio furniture. I wanted them to look out and see just greenery. So you guys kind of see me struggle with this a little bit, but I end up putting the garden over there, and I think it turns out really, really well in the end. And yeah, I don't know. I really like the outside. I want to focus a lot when I'm doing the micro living. I want to focus a lot on the outdoor living, because I feel like that's part of living in a tiny home or living in a micro home or a small home, is that you spend a lot of time outdoors, and that's something that is like really passionate for you, or to you, is that you're spending time outdoors and that you're kind of giving back. And so that's what I was going for. But yeah, so here I am just messing around with these little plants. I don't know. I think, yeah, this is about the time that I scrapped that idea. I was like, nope, let's just put a garden bed out here. And like I said, I use a lot of plants from debug, and yeah, I think it turns out really good. The plants that I line up against that window, I think are so pretty, and I didn't realize they are actually in like a pot holder, like a flower holder. I didn't realize that at first. I thought that it was just like blue parts. I don't know. And then I use this, I just discovered that big like bush thing. I think it came with like Jungle Adventures, but it's just like those overgrown bushes. Oh, they're so pretty, and they worked perfectly in this build. Oh my gosh, they worked so good in this build. I had so much fun. I think that it just like really set the tone. Once I placed those down, I was like, I got it. Like it just snapped in my head. I was like, yep, that's it. That's exactly what I want. And so it kind of like set the tone for the rest of the outdoor area. But over here, I just add a few cabbages. I wanted to have tons of garden, or at least plenty of garden space. Of course, you can't do anything with these cabbages. They are just decorative, but I do add a little garden area. Anyway, so, and then here I am just going through the debug menu and just looking at different things and pulling it out and messing around with it, because you guys know as well as I do, you can get lost in that menu, and I swear every time I go back to the debug menu, I find something new there. Every single time. So here I am, I just stick a little wheelbarrow. I found that cute little wheelbarrow in the debug menu. Oh my gosh, I saw it and I was like, yes, I have to have that. I love it. It was so cute. So yeah, I stuck that over there, and I end up cluttering it up with some garden stuff, which is really cool because I never ever use the garden stuff. I just always forget that it's there, like the like watering can and the little garden tools. I always forget that they're there, but I remembered this time when I stuck that little table and that little wheelbarrow out there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So yeah, I clutter them up, and then I kind of play around with a couple fences here. I like the idea of having those fences, like, they look like maybe like the stakes that you would put in the garden for your tomatoes to grow up on, or something like that. That was kind of my thought process with that. So I can't really think of what those are called, but like basically you stick them in the ground and they help like the vines, or they help like your plant, hold your plant up so they don't droop. If you guys know what that's called, let me know in the comments down below, because I can't remember for the life of me. But anyways, I end up scrapping it and putting, I think I put a small fence around there, like the one that came with, yep, the one that came with, what is that it came with? Is it the kids room? The kids room stuff, the kids stuff room? I'm not sure, but yeah, and that kind of sets the tone for some of the like the colors that I use later on, the tan colors, because the wood like matched perfectly with a few other things that I placed around the yard. And then I stuck this wheelbarrow full of like fruit and different things, or this statue full of fruit inside the wheelbarrow and different things. This is what I'm talking about, this cute little end table, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it matches perfectly with the gate, and I love that it matched perfectly with the gate. And then over here I wanted to add some kind of like outdoor living area, and I end up putting an outdoor kitchen, as long as like oh my gosh, I can't talk, as well as a couple places to sit in an outdoor dining room as well. And then I stick a fire pit over here, which I think that turns out pretty well too. I wanted to have something for them to do while they were outside and had guests over, maybe because their house is not super big, but I mean, because I cheated, it's a little bit bigger than, you know, it would have been if I would have made a proper micro home. So yeah, and then I just use the train paint to just go over and add a few oh my gosh, I used the train paint to add a few bits of dirt here and there to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then right here, I was kind of playing around with how I wanted the kitchen to go, and I ended up scrapping this and just putting a half wall there, and I just put the living space there. I put a large outdoor dining table. Even though this is a house for only one sim, or 2 sims at the most, I wanted to have an outdoor dining table anyways that accommodated quite a lot of people. So yeah, and then I just add a few decorations out here. I kind of clutter the place up. I wanted to put this awning out here, so added some kind of protection. If they were outside and it was like raining or something, they could still come outside and sit in the rain and just enjoy their view. So here I used the little shelf that we got with the new stuff pack, and then I just clutter up the shelves that we do have there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the majority of this video. So you guys will see me just finish cluttering up a few things, and we are coming to the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little micro home. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I will see you guys all later. Bye.
just sit there watching them, lying alone, trying hard not to sleep. Your shadows like to watch me dream and mess with me and our memories.